Anthony Joshua has switched trainers. He's now with Ben Davison, although he says he's still with Derrick James. Derrick James is preparing Ryan Garcia for up. So we wait to see what happens. But in the meantime, the world knows now that Anthony Joshua has changed trainers yet again. So, as you know, this is going to be my reaction video to this. My thoughts about Anthony Joshua swapping trainers. Let's talk about it here on BWTM Sports. Don't wait. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Glad you could join us. So, side message for those of you who've been wanting to see me do the Celtic season on FC24 manager mode. That's what's happening. That's what's going. I think I'm up to seven episodes so far, 7 lives. And the last live, we managed to get Celtic to qualify for the Champions League group stage for a 1-0 win. So we were very close to getting knocked out of the cup. And we're through to the next round of group stages. So all good. All good. So we'll move on. Liam, how are we doing, brother? How are we doing? Hope all is well with you. Right. So I'm going to really get into this one. I'm going to get into this video now with Anthony Joshua and him switching trainers. And I want to explain to boxing fans just exactly how damaging, frustrating, and pointless this really is. And what it says about the fighter or the client, what it says about the intentions, and what the outcomes will be. So I'm speaking to you for this from an elite perspective. Finally, I can get to see you live, catch you live. Right, Taylor. Let me just go through this. Let me just quickly go through the comments here. Bring back Bromby. Might do Bromby, actually. Might do a Bromby one. But let me just finish with Celtic. Now, give me a moment. I want to go through this. I'm going to talk to you from a perspective of a coach who's been coaching for over 25 years and just recently got my coaching qualification to coach at elite level. So now I'm using the knowledge of the sport that I'm in coaching. I'm also using the knowledge that I've gained over the years talking to people such as James Ellerby, Peter Fury, Stacey McKinley, Abel Sanchez, and many more other trainers along the way. But I'm going to put this together into what I think is every coach, trainer, teacher's philosophy, and why Anthony Joshua and his ideas and the people who are making these decisions are oblivious to this, and why it's not advisable. So, okay, as a coach, a teacher, particularly a teacher of success and a teacher or coach of success, say a successful coach, one who knows how to get the best out of his student, out of his cohort, his group, his the team that he's been employed to get the best out of, or the client that he's employed to get the best out of, individually or collectively as a group. So I'm not going to really read the comment section until after I've said what I'm saying here. So I give a very clear idea of what I'm talking about. Now, every coach, every professional coach, every professional coach is got a masterpiece, a work of art, of success, a game plan, a almost like imagine a box, a Lego box full of bricks, right? And to you and me, we don't understand what's going on. But with that box of bricks, he can build a castle. But there's a process he will take to get to that castle. So when you see it at first, you'll look at the bricks and go, what's going on? What's this guy doing? And then bit by bit, you start to put things together. This is very much like boxing and a fighter. A fighter comes to you, and there's a even with me for coaching, you've got to be able to understand one another. The coach has to have, there has to be a level of respect first and foremost from the coach and from the client or the collective. There's an agreement. I'm going to listen to what you've got to say. I'm going to follow you to the T. If I don't understand what you have to say, what you're saying, I'm going to ask questions about it. And as the coach, you make yourself clear, you make yourself understood, and you are taking this individual on a journey. And then this person has to follow you on that journey. So when Anthony Joshua comes in the gym with Rob McCracken will say, right, well, our journey is to get you to become world heavyweight champion. And there's a series of hurdles that they'll go through and things they need to work on. So it might be, right, fight 1, we're going to make you to develop your jab. Fight 2 might be to, let's see you throw more of the right hand. Let's see you put punches together in bunches. Let's work more on your fitness. There is a plan. So fight 1 is not what fight 25 would be. By fight 25 or fight 30, whatever, you're fighting for the world title, wherever that time is. There is a gradual development and process where you can look, review, and say, well, this is what it takes to do this. This is what it takes to get this. This is what it takes to do this. And then this is what it takes to get here. And each time, what should happen is the fighter and the trainer are looking back at tape. They're reviewing, like in cricket for me. I'll look at a player's technique on the video. I'll watch what they do. I'll watch where they're excelling, the areas we need to improve on, the areas that they're doing well on. And that conversation is, well, you hide your weaknesses, build on your strengths. But behind closed doors, you're working on your weaknesses to strengthen those things. And that's how that will work. And that's how that it is. And that's a process. Do you understand? And we're working fight by fight, match by match. Every time we're looking to add something new, what and where areas we can improve, whether that's our communication in the corner, are you following instructions? How do you do things under pressure? And I'm getting to know you and you're getting to know me. Or in the case of McCracken and Joshua, they know each other for a while. So, and there's a roadmap, there's a way that this trainer wants you to be. He's got an idea how big your weight you need to be at, your optimum, how many weeks you need to do in your sparring, or it just what it takes to get the best out of that individual because you've known them so well. It's TikTok. It's just like you know how to. It's a drill. You know what to do. When a individual leaves that coach, he leaves that coach with that philosophy and mindset, and he takes away what that coach has been instilling into him for so long, for depending on how long that person's been with that coach. And then when that happens, that fighter, that individual takes those things onto the next stage. So then somebody else comes in with their own painting of success and says, well, you know what you did there was okay, but I think you could improve in this area, or you could improve in that area. And they've got their own method. So they start to take things down from the Lego bricks and start to build something else instead. So you become something else, rightly or wrongly. You become part of their ideology now. So you go through the training process again. Now, with McCracken, he's been with McCracken a long time. So then he goes to the next trainer. And the next trainer starts to pull things down and put things in and have their own opinion. So then you take that in. And then you get beat. And then you bring another trainer in. Or you go and see several trainers with several parts of philosophy, and you don't spend any real time. So you don't even go for a fight with some of these trainers. You spend time with the trainer, you listen to what the trainer has to say, you go away from that. And shopping's very different. Like when you go shopping, it's different. You generally go out shopping and you say, well, I want to go and buy this, 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 and this. And you may go and buy other things as well. But you have a general idea. Well, like me, if I'm going to go out shopping, I'm going to go and buy, for example, I'm going to buy a video game. I'm going to buy the latest FIFA. So FC24, I've gone out to buy FC24, right? I know it's FC24 I'm going to get. I may see other games in there, but FC24 is what I want. I know definitely I want that, right? I may look at it, all those other games, but once I've left the shop and I've come back with my FC24, I forget about all those other games I saw in the shop. I may say to myself, you know what, I might buy those other games. It's all right, but FC24 is what I've gone for. Sometimes you might say, yeah, I might invest in this, but I'm non-committal to everything else because that's what I've gone for. FC24 is what I've gone for. I'm non-committal to the rest of those things. So I'm using it as an example. But with Joshua, he was going to see all these other trainers. And all these other trainers will say, man, you should do this and you should do that and you should do this. And rightly or wrongly, they all want a payday. They all want to get paid. They all want to make money. Yeah? They all want to make money and they all want to get paid. So they're going to give their own best advice of what Joshua should do here, what Joshua should do there, without really knowing the mentality of the fighter, what the fight does under pressure, what his training habits are like. None of these things they know. McCracken would know. So now, Josh has got all this in his head. This person saying this person saying that, this person saying that. And even still then, after he had a trainer, he was still going outside and asking ex-pro fighters how to prepare for Alexander Usyk. He went to Andre Durrell. Anthony? He went to Andre Durrell. And he asked Andre Durrell how to fight, or getting ideas of how to fight Usyk. So let's go back to this. So you've gone from one masterpiece to another masterpiece. Then you've listened to other people have their input. Then you move to another trainer who's another master. So he said, well, you know what? Let's pull this whole down and let's build this back up. And Derrick James is very methodical. So he's going to go, right, in this fight, I expect you to do this. In this fight, I expect you to do this. In this fight, I expect you to do this. So Derrick James now gets Anthony Joshua's fight right. I want you to box more. I want you to use your jab more. I want you to put your combinations together. I don't want you to get hit as much, right? I want you to fight at your pace. I want you to do this or I want you to do that. So he's giving you a game plan to go out there and box. While you're going out and boxing the Derrick James game plan now, you've got people outside going, oh, he's not aggressive. Oh, he's not this. Oh, he's not that. So you listen to that as well. Remember, this is the same guy who was listening to Tyson Fury. And when Tyson Fury said he couldn't box, he decided to go and box Alexander Usyk. So if you're that sensitive and you listen to people from outside and the media, then you've got Derrick James now training you as well to get you to a different way of fighting. Getting you to fight in a different way. Yeah? And now, Derrick James is a Hall of Fame trainer. As far as he'll be a Hall of Fame trainer. He's been trainer of the year multiple times. He's had very good champions in his stable. And every trainer goes through a period where, they don't have that same success. It happened to Freddie Roach as well, where his fighters, I think, 2 or 3 of his fighters got knocked out in the same year. So it's not just Derrick James. It happens. Historically, it happens. You have bad runs. That's life. So he's with Derrick James now. He leaves Derrick James now to now come to Ben Davison. Ben Davison now is in the UK. All right. So Ben Davison will be looking and saying, right, I've got Tyson Fury no more. I'll make a name for myself. And I'm going to make a name myself with Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua, as far as I'm concerned, is very confused now. Very confused. And now he's brought in Ben Davison just to add to the confusion. So if you think about all those trainers, all teaching him how to hit the bag. All teaching him. One will tell you, oh, you need to put you need to throw the triple jab. No, you need to throw 2 jabs. No, you need to flip the jab, drop back and throw the right hand. No, I wouldn't advise you to do that. I think you should 1, 2, drop back, spin your head around and throw a hook in it left and right. You've got different ideas of what to do. So which is the best idea? Because you've had the McCracken idea and got knocked out. You've gone with Robert Garcia and got beat. And then you've gone with, what's this guy? And then you went into rematch with Usyk and got beat. Trying to go Mexican style, more aggressive. And now you've gone with Derrick James. And then you said that you're not aggressive anymore. But you need to go back to old school Anthony Joshua. And now you're with Ben Davison, who, as far as I'm concerned, is going to say, you know what? Here's the opportunity for make a name for myself. And I'm going to get Anthony Joshua to be aggressive again, like he was back in the day. So, you tell me. He's confused. There's no way he's not confused. And his value systems are confused. Because, when you enter a relationship with a woman, you know exactly, I use the example, you kind of know exactly what you're after, whether you want a long-term relationship or you want a short-term relationship or you want a one-night. You understand what it is. Anthony Joshua, when he gets into these trainers, what sort of relationship is it? Is it a relationship where he's the boss and he doesn't and he's unteachable in the sense that there's only a certain limit that I'm prepared to listen to, and after that I disengage. I don't listen no more. I've become unteachable. I know what it takes. I don't need any trainer to tell me what it takes. I just need a yes man. I just need somebody who's going to bark. That's it. When I tell them to bark. If I don't want to train today, I'm not going to train. And nobody's going to tell me what, because I'm a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. I don't need to do those runs. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I'll turn up to gym when I want to turn up to gym. I've got enough money in the bank, so who cares? So, what trainer is going to tell you what? What's McCracken going to tell you? What's Derrick James going to tell you? I'm a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, man. Make more money than you. I'm globally more successful than you. Who the hell are you to tell me what to do? It's in the head. It's in the head. Don't tell me it's not in his head. It's in his head. And when you're around a whole people, yes, people who just all the time tell you what you want to hear. And then what ends up happening is because you surround yourself with that sort of people, it becomes very difficult for you to listen to things outside of that. So from masterpiece to masterpiece to masterpiece to masterpiece. So Ben Davison's gonna be looking for his aha moment with Anthony Joshua. I'm the man that turned Anthony Joshua around. I'm the man that did better than the Hall of Fame or the trainer of the year, Derrick James. I'm the man. Me, Ben Davison. Remember I told you. And I said to you, the only thing that hasn't happened to Anthony Joshua yet is for him to get a trainer that gets him knocked out. Makes him overly aggressive because of the media, and he ends up getting knocked out trying to be over aggressive. Listen to me. The media are undefeated. The media are undisputed. The media are not accountable for anything. The media will tell you 1 week Francis Ngannou is a bum, and the next week they're saying he could beat Alexander Usyk. The media before was saying Ngannou was a waste of time. Now they're saying that he's in the top 10, and they're praising and putting that out about Francis Ngannou. The media can switch and bait whenever they want to. The media can change the goalposts whenever they want to. So if you use the media and you trust the media and what they're saying, then you can be guaranteed that your career will be dictated by the media, and your style will be dictated by the media. And when you get knocked out, the media is going to jump on you and say, why did you throw those punches? Why did you get yourself knocked out? Maybe it's time for you to retire. Do you understand? So to me, a lot of people don't want to hear what to say, because I'm speaking the truth, and we're in a very dumbed down society now. We're in a very dumbed down society, whereas the level of boxing and the standard of boxing is so low now, and the type of people talking about boxing today were not around to appreciate the levels and high levels of boxing that was around back then. And a lot of the people who've got now in boxing today are talking based on how much the promoter's paying them, based on how much, whether they can get a free seat at the house or they can get to talk to their hero. This is not based on facts and figures and asking the questions people want answers to. And even when they're asking the questions, they're asking the questions, most of them, for clickbait, for views, right? You have to understand this. And I talk about mainstream media here. And if you're getting riled by Davison, who says to you, it talks about form or peaking, if you're concerned about him, then you've got very thin skin. And to me, the way I put it is, you are a confused fighter. How can anyone judge the peak of a man that's not stayed long enough of a trainer, apart from Rob McCracken? Because Rob McCracken will probably have to be the peak. How can you judge a man's development where he's chopping and changing trainers all the time? Because a trainer, you fight one, that's the first game plan, and the trainer's probably got a 5 or 6 fight game plan. He says, by fight 1 you're going to be doing this, and by fight 6 we'll be doing this, or at least that's our plan. That's what we're going to judge ourselves. A year from now, I expect you to be able to do this. You can't do this now, but by within a year, I expect you to be doing this. And this is what's going to get us to become heavyweight champion of the world. But if you're leaving within 2 fights or 3 fights, you're only just getting into a relationship with the trainer. So how can you judge improvement? How can you see from where you were to where you are, or where you're going to? You can't judge development. And how can you judge where you've improved? So he fights with Derrick James now, and now he's going to bring Davison in. And Davison's going to have his own way of things. So what is he gonna? Is he gonna leave Ben? Is he gonna stick with Ben Davison? Is he gonna go back to Derrick James? This whole thing is a mess. And frankly speaking, I have no faith, zero faith in the career of Anthony Joshua as of this point. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When you keep hopping and switching trainers all the time, it shows that you have a lack of loyalty and commitment to your own future. Because if the train was good enough for you to start training with, in your opinion, then why are you changing after 1 fight or 2 fights? I told you all that Robert Garcia could not train Anthony Joshua. It's not good enough. I told you that Robert McCracken, wasn't good enough for Anthony Joshua at a certain level. He had to go on and become a better trainer. Imagine if you had time to work with someone like I said, if he'd gone with Derrick James earlier in his career, maybe that would have made a difference. But now, when all the damage is done, we're just talking about all the trade now. Let's talk about all the damage that's been done. The Klitschko fight, people say there wasn't damage there. The damage was done in the Klitschko fight. I never want to be in a fight like that again. The Andy Ruiz fight, well, I warned you all about Andy Ruiz. And the stuff I was hearing about the sports psychologist saying that he was scared of getting knocked out by Ruiz. He was asked that in a press conference before the fight. He gets knocked out by Ruiz. Yeah, after the Ruiz fight. What else we have? Then we have the rematch. In a fight that it was grab and jab against a guy that was truly overweight, retains the title, right? So he's still got the scarring of the knockout defeat. Then he has the fight against Usyk, where he was acting very much like a tourist guide and very complimentary of Usyk to the point of snapping and taking photographs of him. And more or less when they hand the belts over to him again, gets beat up by Usyk, trying to box based on the opinion of Tyson Fury that he can't box. He's just a stiff bodybuilder. He proved he couldn't box. He got beat. He brings in Robert Garcia for Mexican style. He gets beat again. He has a rant. He loses it in front of everybody. Oh, before he gets beat by Usyk, let's remember he's wearing the ring. But he couldn't sleep at night. He was having concerns there. So let's talk about that as well. They're all signs of a person that needs help. He's crying for help, but doesn't know where to get it, or is too stubborn to follow protocol or follow what is necessary for you to make the changes. And back you go with that nonsense again. Wasn't he with Rob McCracken? Wasn't he with Rob McCracken and still trained with Robert Garcia and going around looking at the other trainers? History repeating itself. Man doesn't learn from his lessons. So, if you can't learn your lessons, then you will learn a harsh reality. See, Wallin, as far as I'm concerned, he gets hit too often with the right hand. He gets hit too often with the right hand. It's just a matter of if he can take the punishment and land his own. He's got a sneaky left hand. He's a good boxer. But Wallin gets hit too much with the right hand. The question is, is Anthony Joshua confident enough to let the right hand go? Ben Davison will be pushing for him to be aggressive and to take the fight to Wallin. That's what he's going to push him to be. And you better be careful you don't walk onto the left hand. You just want to be careful you don't walk onto the left hand. Because if he walks onto the left hand and Wallin lands shots at him, you know that when Anthony Joshua gets hit with punches, he freezes up and just falls over like just falls over. You saw in the Ruiz fight. And I would say that Wallin probably he's got more weight on his punches when he throws the left hand. So, yeah, all that talking he's doing now against, he did all that talking against Helenius. It took him 7 rounds to knock out Helenius. That's a confused man. Now he's talking that stuff to Wallin. Me, a lot of pressure on him on the night. Wilder's in the house. Jarrell Miller's in the house. And this is all becoming, like I said before, like SmackDown versus Raw. That stuff. The other thing we don't have now is other fighters coming to other fighters' dressing rooms and fighting before the fight. That's the only thing. Backstage fights. That's the only thing that hasn't happened yet. But give it time, there'll be probably backstage fights as well. So as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at things from a coaching perspective, sorry, AJ, you can't. The boxing gods, remember my words here, the boxing gods are unforgiving. I said this about Bernard Hopkins. When Bernard Hopkins said, I'll never let a white boy beat me. And it was a white boy that punched him through the ropes, out of the ring, and we never saw Bernard Hopkins in a boxing ring again. The boxing gods are unforgiving. They are. So carry on, Mr. Joshua. If Wallin doesn't knock you out in this fight, which would not be would not be of surprise to me if Wallin knocked you out in this fight. It would not be of surprise at all. That would not be an upset. That would not be an upset because you're training like a person and you're acting like a person that as far as I'm concerned, does not want to box anymore. Likes all the attention, doesn't actually want to box anymore. That's what I see. And that's my thoughts. That's it. I said my thoughts on Anthony Joshua. Will he be able 3-time heavyweight champion of the world? No, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think the way the way he set out his stall is for a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. Sorry. Okay. Let's see what people say. Said before, said before, it's sad to know the same man controls both Fury and AJ, considering that the switch to exercise Ben makes more sense. Your spelling is as good as mine tonight. I don't think Derrick James was a good fit anyway. He's not a proper heavyweight coach. I disagree with you there. Derrick James was a better heavyweight coach because he actually had a career as a heavyweight boxer. So I disagree with you there totally. I think that Derrick James should have been, when AJ left McCracken, should have gone to Derrick James back then. Anthony Josh and Deontay Wilder meet Deontay Wilder in press conference in UK. That's very nice, Andre. Very, very nice to know. Let's see. Good evening. To understand Joshua, you need to understand somatic narcs. They're delusional and deluded. Joshua is unadvisable. He thinks he's highly intelligent and knows better than others. It's his way or the highway. That's why he's surrounded by yes men. Pick up who you got between Andre Benavidez. I got Benavidez beating that boy badly late stoppage. I think Andrade's boxing ability is going to give Benavidez some problems. I really do. Should be Derrick James in there. AJ can't make his mind up. I smell confidence issues. Yeah, I've seen him. I've just got rid of it. I've got him in the chat anyway, so I know how to deal with him now. AJ's double-minded. Last thing you want to be doing with Deontay Wilder in the ring with you. You've timed him out for 24 hours. You don't need to time him out for 24 hours and banned him straight up. No time for it. Can't see him fighting Wilder. I personally think Wilder is a dangerous fight unless AJ catches him early. I see that a possibility too. AJ doesn't knock anybody out early. He doesn't. When's the last time AJ knocked anybody out early of any note? I just don't see him doing that with Wallin. I don't think he's got the confidence to do that. I actually think that if he tries to go out early and try to knock Wallin out of all that confusion, he'll end up walking onto left hand. And that's what I see happening for him. As AJ looked better since leaving Rob, he looked the same to me. Second Usyk fight, just let his hands go earlier. Everyone else has been poor opponents till now, and he's not looked impressive against them. That's my point. AJ is back to square one. Will fight for vacant IBF and all the other vacant titles to try to become champion again. Just like the start of the career, but avoiding Wilder and Fury is no good. Apparently, Ben was helping Derrick James for the Hellenius fight. Apparently, Ben was there to develop AJ's power, according to Seconds Out. Yeah, of course he was. That's another lie from Camp AJ. Dev said he did make the peak comment. It was Wallin. All Dev said was to ask AJ questions. LOL. Oh, okay. Usyk beats Fury. A boxing match will break out in Usyk's footwork and pivot will be too much, and Fury won't have the stamina to catch up with Usyk. Fair point. There won't be any backstage fights in Saudi for sure. LOL. AJ smooths out Wallin, Lennox Lewis versus Glotter style. No chance. Not all. You can't compare the two fighters. When Lennox Lewis fought Andrew Glotter had some mental challenges. He had panic attack. He had a panic attack in the dressing room before he fought Lennox Lewis that night, I believe. Don't think they quite gel together, AJ and Derrick. Well, I just gave you an example as to a gelling process does not take one fight or two fights. You're looking 5 or 6 fights. You cannot say somebody gels in 2 fights. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. No relationship works after a few months. It doesn't work like that. You have to have process. McCracken was with Joshua for years. You cannot compare. Are you telling me that Garcia gelled with AJ? Come on, stop the nonsense talk. I personally don't think that these fights happen on the same night. Just something about the time of it all too early. Andrade could crack Benavidez. I do believe so. Yes, King Strick in the house. Good. Stop with this nonsense about people gelling after 2 fights. 5, 6, 7, 8 fights. You have to get momentum. Nobody gels after 2 fights. That's bullshit. Sorry, pardon my French. Absolute bullshit. I'm a coach, right? And there's no way I gel with my player or my team in two matches. You don't. It's a period of time because you're building. Gelling is when you start seeing things work. But how can you gel when you're actually trying to slay a foundation after such garbage has been taught before? It's like to lay a foundation, like coming into a jungle and you've got or you're just coming into grass that's not been cut for a long while, and you're coming in now and you're cutting the grass. You've got to cut the grass and then relay the foundation. Yeah. And that's how the philosophy is of any coach. Any new coach coming in, he's going to lay his law down or lay his philosophy down. This is how I want things done. And you've come from some very strange ways of coaching. And then you're coming into somebody who is proven. I'm not saying you can coach everybody, but there is a foundation of success that Derrick James brings. Do you think Spence and Charlo losing shows deficiency Derrick James? No, not really. I mean, who did they get beat by? Who did they get beat by? They both got beat by pound for pounds, right? So Charlo got beat by Canelo, and Spence got beat by Crawford. Is that a deficiency? Is that a deficiency? I wouldn't call that deficiency. I would call that competitiveness at the highest, at elite level. That's deficiency. And of course, you have to ask yourself the question, these guys have got beat now. How do they come back? How does Spence come back? Does he improve? He's now gone to another trainer now. Don't know. Bro, AJ would have Derrick James in there if it were that simple. Clearly ain't working. You just don't bring in another trainer like that as early as that. Really? Explain to me why Ben Davis is in there. Why? Wasn't Ben Davison around the whole Tyson Fury and what's this guy's name again? Freddie Roach. Wasn't he around then? And what happened with that? What did Tyson end up doing? Leaving Ben. Okay. Good evening, Ingram. There's a chat. And also Ingram Jones. Herser, hate him. The manner they got beat looked leagues apart. Okay. Well, Spence, the way he got beat, the way Spence got beat, we all know, we say it now, but looking back, you look at Spence and the injuries he's had and the car crash and all the rest of it. I'm not making excuses. It is what it is. That's the history that Spence had. So maybe he wasn't even fit to box. I don't know. As for Charlo, you went up 2 weight divisions. Would you call that deficiency? Or a guy that just wanted a payday and didn't want to, he just was in sparring mode. I'm not going to get knocked out here. I'm going to get a payday. Charlo being beat by Canelo and ESJ getting beat by Crawford is something that happens when elite fighters clash. James could be faulted if his men fell to lesser men with poor strategy. Thank you. Let him know. Box size Ben is nothing but a pad man. Well, but if you have confidence, Derrick James, why is he in there? Excuse that he's training other fighters. I heard that online. Yeah, I heard that too. What is expected of Anthony Joshua and what he can do is 2 different things. Sorry, Ingram, my computer auto-connected. Ingram Jones. What's wrong with my computer? LOL. Goes, Spence looked like an old man. Speech all over the place in recent times. Saw it coming. Nobody would listen. You know, I saw Derek Chisora in an interview where he said he was banned, but he was joking about it. Now, I didn't know if the sound was off. I didn't know it was Derek had been drinking. or his voice was slurring. But what I saw, I didn't like, and it really concerned me. Like I said, Derrick Chisora, Katie Taylor needs to retire, even if she beats Chantel Cameron in some way. It's possible. She's an island. If she gets the points. Ben Davison trained Fury for Wallin, so he's familiar with him. Maybe that's why AJ got him in for this fight. Okay, so then why didn't AJ get in James Ellie-Bashir for 2 fights against Alexander Usyk when he was still world champion? Seems a bit of backward thinking to me. Ingram, what the hell is Ben doing in there? Consultant. He's a consultant for the Wallin fight where Tyson Fury almost lost. So I don't know how much of consultancy that is. What's up, Ingram? Thanks for the DM earlier today. Trying to support this channel as much as possible. Told all my mates about it too, bro. Really appreciate it, mate. I do need a bit of that encouragement at the moment. I know I'm not as active as I once was, but I will be soon, very, very soon, actually. Good point. Why isn't Bashir in there? Why wasn't Bashir in there? Because according to some sources, Bashir talks too much. Say yes, man. You say, no, yes, man. You tell me how many non-yes men would be with AJ? I've given up on the career in Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry, I just have. I have. Full of shit because Fury fought Wallin. LOL, Fury went life and death for Wallin. Tell him, yeah, he did. Of course he went life and death for Wallin. The Wallin fight. Let us remind you all what the Wallin fight was. The Wallin fight was a ticking over fight. Yeah, it was a fight. It was on one of the. I think it was a fight deal he had with ESPN and Bob Arum, and that was one of the fights that Tyson had to take in America. He fought Tom Schwartz and he blew Tom Schwartz out of there. He tried to do that same crap again against Wallin, and he almost came out unstuck. And if you think about it, he was in good shape against Wallin, and he struggled. He was in bad. I want to talk about this for a second, yeah. And I was thinking about it in my bed about 2 nights ago. I was thinking, I just watched Fury beat Ngannou. And Fury technically was struggling with Ngannou. Technically was struggling with a guy from the UFC because of his not knowing how Ngannou would fight. And Tyson Fury is such a superior boxer. I have to say that Tyson Fury's boxing ability has, I think it's regressed since he fought Deontay Wilder. I think that his whole boxing, the way he looks now, is based off the Deontay Wilder fights. He bulked up, he got bigger, he became slower. He doesn't move around the ring the same way because of Deontay Wilder. And thought, I'm just going to use weight and just push him back. So if anybody tells me that Tyson Fury is as skilled today as he was when he was under Peter Fury, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Can't just walk forward like that compared to how he was before, jittering and using the jab and moving. You can't tell me that Tyson Fury that we saw there, that's the best shape Tyson Fury was in compared to this Tyson Fury that fought Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry. And then he's now just big, right? And if he cannot bundle Usyk over and Usyk can use speed of foot and speed of hand, Tyson's going to have a lot of problems on the night. And if Wallin was giving him them issues and Ngannou was giving him issues, you're telling me Usyk won't give him issues? Come on, man. Bashir would have been such a good trainer. Ben Davis is just there to keep because he keeps his mouth shut and will let Joshua do whatever he wants. Recipe for disaster. Of course it is. And Otto Wallin was there to win that night. He wasn't there to show up and roll over. But with that bad cut, should Wallin have done more to force stoppage? Well, maybe he didn't think he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Some fighters there, that their belief grows inside the fight. That the belief grows inside the fight. And once you've got belief going on inside the fight, some fighters can't kick on from that. They're still in shock that they're having the success that they have. Walling talked shit about Joshua, saying he's past his peak. Walling is right, and I hope he will knock AJ out. Ingram Jones watching AJ hitting pads of Davison. Bravo, I just don't know anymore. And yes, Sugar Hill strategy. Tyson put on weight and walk forward. Peter Fury, let's perfect your skills. Fury is done. Well, he may well be. He may well be. And you know, I expect to see something from Alexander Usyk that will shock a lot of people. That's what I'm expecting to see. Wonder what Derrick James thought about it. He can't be bothered. He's that type of guy. Well, I haven't spoken to Derrick I haven't spoken to Derrick since he took over with Anthony Joshua. Good luck to him on that one. Fury doesn't have the legs to keep up with Usyk. The JoJo dieting and binge eating will catch up with Fury in one night. I'm sure it will, if it hasn't already. I don't believe Fury can get any better than what he is now. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I don't believe he can get any better. I just think he can use what he's got now, the size he is. I cannot see him coming down to the weight he was when he fought Otto Wallin. And when he fought Otto Wallin, it was his dad that said, Tyson's too light. He's too light. So now we've got what we've got now. We know that Fury is shot worn post the trilogy. The next issue is how Wilder looks in mid to late rounds after the trilogy, or what mileage he's got. I've been saying it. Is Derrick generally too busy December for AJ to fight? I don't believe it. Park upsetting Wilder feels much more like Walling beating AJ. We'll know in the first round what Parker we've got. If we've got a Parker that wants to stand on the outside of a Wilder's jab and look at him, he'll get knocked out. If he comes rushing in, he'll get knocked out as well. Imagine Bashir and Derrick James in there with AJ. If Usyk could speak English, he's probably the most marketed boxer out there. A lot. Got the skills in the ring already perfected. Davison fighters sometimes get caught with straight left hands like Lee Wood and Josh Taylor. Oh boy. It's the angle as they're pulling out. I think the damage on Fury should be between first and second fight of Wilder. You can see the decline clearly. Usyk will force Fury to fight full 3 minutes as well, which he can't. Do you think Joyce should leave Warren? Yeah, I was about to go and do a video on it, like what I would do if I was Joe Joyce. Francis lobbied for Dubois to get higher ranked. Well, that's nice. Let's see if Juramilla can put an end to all that nonsense. It was streamed, and that didn't stop him. LOL. Usyk possibly wins, but I'm not sure. Gypsy King curse is real. I don't know. I've told you for a long time they've wanted to get Joe Joyce beat. They've wanted to get Joe Joyce beat for so long. So long. And I think Joe knew it as well. Fury hasn't trained with any intensity since the second Wilder fight. In these big fights, it's not what you do in one training camp, but over several training camps. Well, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I'm now expecting Usyk to cause a sensation. I really am. I really am. Yeah, it's been over, but I really am. I'm expecting Usyk to do something special for this one. I really am. And if Tyson can pull it out the bag against Usyk, but no, I really am going towards Usyk for this one. Yeah, sure. Both haven't looked good in their last fight. Usyk didn't look great in his last fight. The finish looked good. The finish looked good against Dubois. The way he got Dubois out of there was nice. And I was glad the way he got Dubois out there, particularly because there were people on my channel that came on and said that Usyk can't punch. Well, what happened to Dubois in the end? Absolutely sharp comment, your legend, so I was just about to type that. If Chisora can give Usyk issues, I see Fury making it messy. Why do you think they want to kill Joe Joyce's career? I don't know. Maybe Joe didn't sign up for the maybe Joy didn't set up for the plan, if you know what I mean. I suspect Usyk stops Fury to the body with tons of mental pressure being put on him and the pace of keeping up with Usyk. Maybe. As long as Joyce is getting decent paydays, he might not be bothered anymore. I've got Miller making Dubois quick. I've got Miller stopping Dubois because of the pressure. I just think Miller gets close and he clonks Dubois and punches him just punches him around the ring, bullies him, punches him around the ring. The only way I see Dubois winning the fight is if he can keep distance and crack Miller with that right hand early, crack him early and hurt him early. Other than that, I see him getting punched up. Wardy spied both of them and says Usyk hits harder. I do. I think a lot people didn't believe me when I said Usyk hits hard and he can hurt. He'll stop Dubois. Nah, Usyk can't punch. Usyk stopped. Well, you know now. Nobody killed his career. He just got caught. No head movement in any of his fights. That's the damn truth. Really? Oh, it takes you so far. Yeah, but it's a thing called matchmaking, my friend. Matchmaking. Why would you matchmake George Royce with Zhilei Zhang? It was suicidal. That was suicidal matchmaking. What the suits wanted was Joyce out of title contention. They got it. Just like how they did White. The B sample garbage didn't help. Miller too stationary. Yep. But I wouldn't exactly say that Daniel Dubois is Muhammad Ali. When Usyk started putting the punches together against Daniel Dubois, was he moving? And watch Dubois. When Dubois gets hit on the chin, watch what he does. He looks to the canvas. Dubois has got no faith in his chin. He has got zero faith in his chin. And like Frank Bruno, when the punches start flying back, he doesn't know what to do. He got fed a whole load of incompetence. And then he got stuck in with somebody who was competent. And that's what happened to Daniel Dubois. And he had a history of the amateurs of quitting. When Joyce said that he jacked it in the amateurs, he's come back and jacked it in the pros. And Joyce knew that. How many ways can you find a way to quit? So Frank Warren's got a tough ask. Because this guy has a history of quitting in the amateurs and jacking in the amateurs. When you jack in the amateurs, and then they're trying to bring the trainer to help. Trainer can't help him. Sorry, trainer can't help him. There are a lot more issues. There are a lot more issues with Daniel Dubois. That's all I'm saying. As long as they make sure that Miller cycles off his gear until the ring walk, Dubois has 10% chance, but that might not be enough, bruv. Dubois hits way too hard to be standing. Dubois hits way too hard to be standing in front of him. Really? You can hit hard. You can stand in front of a person, right? But if you have not got the guts to let your hands go, or your hands are too slow, or the first time you get hit on the chin back, you start to cower away, which is what Dubois is. Dubois is a boy in a man's body, I'm telling you. Thoughts on time booth comeback fight where he walked out the ring midway through the fourth round. I watched it live. It was so funny. It reminded me how Dubois quit so easily. You know, I'm not going to comment on another one's career like that. It's not for me to say. It's not my business. Do you understand? But yeah, it was. I didn't like that referee. You know, a lot of people talk about time booth walking out the ring, but that referee was as biased and unprofessional as they come. That referee. Go back and look at the fight and go and look at that referee who's doing a whole heap of nonsense. England, let's be honest, it's harder to miss Joe Joyce. He was getting caught with non-punches. Every time Joe Joyce fought, it was horrible to see him keep getting caught every fight. But yeah, I agree. But that's Ismail Salas, his trainer. The referee was horrible. Yeah, the referee was horrible. The amount of times I heard John Charles shout to Daniel, move to your left. And Daniel kept moving to the right. John Charles kept saying, move your head. Daniel kept his head on the center. Yeah, well, that's where it is. And that's all you need to know. You got clanged by Zhang, but I told you you're going to get clanged by Zhang. Can't be walking in straight lines against Zhang. And the thing, Zhang is a quality boxer, puncher. Is there anybody in this? Is there anybody watching that has actually watched any of the football, the FC24? What do you guys think of FC24? I was going to ask you as well. What do you think of FC24? 1, 2. I'm going to start uploading my backyard cricket series where we play matches in my backyard in Nigeria. And some of the guys come over and start bowling the ball, and I do coaching sessions in my backyard. Yeah, it's quite. I wouldn't want to see Wilder versus Zhang. I think Zhang knocks out Wilder. Zhang knocks Wilder out. Like if Tyson Fury was able to push Wilder back, can you imagine what Zhang would do? Zhang would push Wilder back. Oh, no. That's a fight I will tell Wilder to move from. Wilder's fast, yeah, but he pulls straight back from punches. He'd be leaning back from punches and getting caught with that left hand. No chance. And I think there's only one Zhang needs to land on Wilder. In my opinion, Dubois first quick, cause he could have gone blind, but Usyk, he did stay on the knee. Look before he gets dropped. Look at where his eyes go. His eyes look to the canvas. I'll watch the next stream on it. I'm going to stream after this. Joe Joyce is done. Ishmael Salas and Steve Broughton are PE teachers. Joyce is awful. I told him we should have got a proper trainer, not a PE teacher. Please bring UFC career too. I will do. There's UFC 5 out, which I need to invest in. But did you see the 50-over cricket final? Yes, I did watch it. I was watching it, and I have met if you look at my videos, since I've been in Nigeria, I saw the World Cup. I did a broadcast of the World Cup trophy tour, which came to Lagos, and I got to stand next to the trophy. And I actually met the ICC for the second time. I met the ICC Global Development Office. It's like the equivalent of FIFA's president for football, like Blatter. That's who I met, and he knows me well enough to know that I got my level 3, well enough to know the work I'm doing in the community in cricket. So yeah, that's good. So the 50-over cricket, yeah, and I'm glad Australia won. It doesn't matter. You can't say you've got the best team in the world and still lose. I have your best team in the world and the best players in the world and still lose. No, I think it's going well. The EAFC 24. I like how you don't play the games, you just deal with the management aspect. Gives it a better feel. Yeah, I love management. I love management, and it's like a dream now to be able to have this game managing teams. I think you guys need to start giving me challenges to accomplish. I don't think Dubois will be willing to go to war in later rounds. He tends to lose focus if he gets hot in there. I think it'll be a middle round stoppage. Yeah, I think he gets stopped in the first four rounds. Unfinished business in UFC. You got caught in the booster crab on the ground. Yeah, I did, but I did come out of that as well. And by the way, did you not see my Francis Ngannou Tyson Fury UFC? Was gutting the other day, but props to Australia. Did you see the match? Head played a blinder. Yeah, he did. Does it allow you not to play? Usually FIFA declares you play the games. No, you're allowed to manage the game. You just manage. So you go in management mode, and you can actually watch it from the touch line, and you've got the different angles of watching it, and you can actually make decisions, change formations, and yeah, everything like a manager. And yeah, really good. Love it. I think India picked too early, burnt out, whereas Australia picked at the right time. I think they got complacent. I think they felt because the World Cup went to India that they actually felt that the World Cup was theirs. That's what I think happened. I'll check it tonight. Great stuff. So I think that's it for now. I think I'll do a video at some point. Guys, I would really appreciate if you start giving me ideas and topics for videos. Really would. And I want to start doing call-ins. I want to hear your voices because I really want to hear your voices. I really want to see you on camera because a lot of you dudes I've never seen before. The only person I know is Leif. Like, I'd love to start doing it, particularly now I'm here in Nigeria, Lagos. So I think I'm spending more time out here now. It's nice to hear people from the UK and around, you know. So it'd be great to call in. India still has the best players, yeah, but it's no point having the best players if you can't win a World Cup. That's the whole point, isn't it? I thought India thought that the trophy was already theirs before the final. Did you know that the last time India won a World Cup, it was my coach that won the World Cup? Gary Kirsten, yeah, the dude who gave me my level 3. That's my coach. So that tells you right where it is when it comes to cricket. Kohli is Sachin incarnate. Yeah, where? Yeah, it don't matter. It didn't win a World Cup, did it? Didn't help him, did it? No point scored on hundreds and you don't win a World Cup. I traded that 100 in for the 100 for him to help them win the World Cup. I don't like the trophy parade. They just left Pat Cummins on the line instead of taking a picture at the trophy. Yeah, that's all right. Karma will come back for them. Prediction: Benavides versus Andrade. Depends how much she's got left. I actually don't like it. There's something about Andrade that seems fake. I don't like about him. Like, there's something I just can't. It just grates me when I look at him. He just seems off key. But I respect his boxing ability, and I think that he's going to cause Benavides problems. If he outboxed Benavides or he dropped Benavides, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. This guy's got pinpoint boxing punching power and boxing ability. That's going to cause Benavides problems. And I think Benavides is very much flat-footed, walks in straight lines. I think Andrade could really cause an upset here. He could. But then I've always had visions of Andrade like looking like an old man and getting beaten up in the later rounds. So I've got that. That's the thing in the back of my mind that's there. But like, you know, him getting dropped and then getting hurt and then Benavides putting that 15, 20 punches together and stopping him. There's that scenario there. But there's also the other scenario of Benavides being dominated by Andrade's boxing ability. Please, no more Harry Kane signing. No, I haven't signed him or haven't touched him. I don't know much about cricket, but I'm intrigued. Please do check out my channel. It's in the playlist. You can start seeing all stuff I'm doing in cricket. Weather events and fire high. I agree. I'm an Arsenal fan, so no more Harry Kane. Modi was pissed at the awards ceremony. Yeah, he was, but good. Andrade is wrong for Benavides. I'm telling you. Yeah, he is. Is there a way back for West Indies cricket? Or is that it now? We've gotten a goal now. We can't reach that level again. I want to go back to that. It is a dream of mine to go back to the West Indies and coach in the West Indies. I really do, and I want to coach at a high level in the West Indies. It is a dream for me, really is. And I would like, you know, the ultimate dream, maybe become West Indies head coach. A lot of politics out there, but I would love the opportunity to do that. But I'm conflicted at the moment because I've got a lot of young people here that need my help. I need to get sponsorship for them. I want to build a league here for them. I've been coaching of almost 1,000 children here. I don't get a lot of support. With Nigerian Cricket Federation, their president, I'm very close with him, and they've just given us some softball equipment. I just had to spend money, almost just under £1,000 just to get cricket gear, and then I'd spend another 1,000 for us to travel on a bus to and from. So yeah, and that's via my company. And the money from that came from a project I did with the UK government about 4 or 5 months previous. So yeah, just need to start getting more sponsors. And I want to have our own league. You know, our player now, the girl, she just got best player. Oh no, she got most promising player, and the potential of her getting called up to play for Nigeria. So yeah, that's why I post it on the channel. A lot of stuff I'm doing. We've got a lot of stuff on TV. And of course, I'm a co-host on a national sports channel every Friday, talking sports out here. So yeah, but I'm going to build my media platform. I just got entered into the YouTube Academy starts in the 1st of December. We graduate in February. So flipping out, let's hope that helps the channel as well. A lot of things going on. I believe you should go and coach West Indies. They deserve to be back where they belong. I don't know how true it is, but apparently West Indies cricket board is very corrupt. I'm not sure it's true. Yeah, it is corrupt, but there's a lot of other challenges within that. You've got the different islands: Jamaica, Trinidad, Barbados, Guyana, Antigua. You've got the different islands. And so if you've got one, like a chairman of selectors, he's from Barbados, then clearly he wants to see as many Barbadians play, you know? Yeah, that's half the problem there. And got a lot of players like from my island, parents' island, from Trinidad and Tobago, and then you've got the small islands like Grenada. We've got guys like who I was working with. What's his name? Devon Smith, my cousin Andre Pascal, and I was working as an assistant coach, or I was more qualified than assistant coach, working for the national side in Grenada. So I was coaching the boys weekly, and then I was also head of working with the girls and boys, men and women as well. So, yeah, I'd like to come, or like to go to the West Indies. I would really like to do it, but I want to set things up here in Nigeria first before I go. Or at least get it into a position where I've now got 8-10 coaches now that travel with me. I've just set up with another school now, a girls' school, and I'm going to do coaching twice a week. And then next year, early next year, we'll do a league. So there's no, like, where I am, I've got 22 million people out here, yeah? And where I live, it's got 1.5 million city. But it's like, it's kind of like a Hackney of the, it's like Hackney, sort of got that sort of reputation back then. If you knew what Hackney was like that. Andrade is a bad man, but very inactive. That could be a problem. How many fights has Andrade had 18 to 2 years? How many fights did Ngannou have in 2 years? You don't need the Western. You don't need the Westerners if you're linked like that in Nigeria. You might be a pioneer out there. Population 200 million people. I guess so. Yeah, maybe, but the mentality is very different out here. Very, very different. I'm not being. It is what it is. Like, people see the work that you're doing and just ignore it. They'll watch what you're doing and say nothing. That's what it is out there. And then you've got people that want to try and shut down the work that you're doing out here. It's a lot of nonsense, a lot of stress out here. People, when you get in position of power, like I remember when I was head coach, they didn't even announce me as a head coach. Can you imagine? They never announced me as a head coach. Never announced me as a head coach. And then I had to tell the people I've been working with for years, a volunteer, because I was getting my paperwork. I had to explain to them why that I'd become a head coach. And like, no, we need to hear that. We need to hear it from the top. Of course you need to hear it from the top. So it was a whole heap of nonsense. It was really challenging. But that's the hell of all this. I got an injury at the time to my shoulder. I thought that's the time I said, you know what? My health is important. So I stepped out, got my shoulder back and healed, and I started my own business, which is ECSM. It's a registered organization, Exodus Coaching Sports Management, which is what I had in England, but I had to close it down because obviously I left England. And so that's where I'm at now with it. And it's good. We're just going to start getting sponsorships now. What happened to GGD? I don't know. He's retired. How do you see Wilder Parker playing out? If Parker can, it depends. If Parker's got to get inside, Parker gets inside, it's game over for Deontay Wilder. Speed, movement, activity. Is Deontay going to have his balance and timing? And the other thing is, I don't rate Malik Scott at all as a trainer. Yes, I'm done. West Indies borders of shambles, highly corrupt with a lot of nepotism. I got Wilder hitting Parker like a taser in the supermarket. That could happen. That also depends on how sharp Deontay is. Why do they want to shut you down? You're inspiring the kids. Because they're not. Have you come up against any tribal bias and prejudice to disrupt your work in Nigeria? Yes, I have. A lot of it. You know, there's so many things here. You got to think about, so like British, Caribbean. When I came to Nigeria, I was a level 2 coach. And they didn't appreciate that. And then I went and got my level 3 via Gary Kirsten. So now you've got a highly qualified coach, 25 years experience. And when I was writing, every week I'd write down, every month I'd give a report as to what I think was necessary to make the changes. And they would just look at it, put it on the table, look at it and ignore it and ignore it and ignore it. I said, you know what, to hell with this, I can do it myself. So now I started building a structure, working with the Ministry of Education, just working on schools cricket and just developing school cricket. I've got my book as well. My book's out now. I need to do it for a worldwide release. I've just released it in Nigeria because I felt that they need that. They need to see somebody that looks like themselves and can relate to that. Jealous is a real beast. Stay safe, England. Positive does change lives. I've seen the videos. Good man. Surprised AJ did try and bring in Teddy Atlas. Deary me, LOL. I mean, totally different conversations there. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So it's about trying to get more sponsorship on board and getting more support. And the money here, like £100, £150, £200 goes a long way out here. You know, £100, £200 goes a long way out here. It really does. From my experience in Africa, it's tribal first, religion second, region third, and nationality last. They are only African when they leave the continent. Listen, religion is first, second, and third for me. First, second, and third. You know, people will starve to go to church. They'll go to church, give the pastor the last bit of money. On every corner, there's a church, but there's no youth centers. There are no youth centers. There's only one youth center they've got, and it's not even used for me like the way youth centers used. No youth centers, no parks. There's no, like, you can't take your kids out to the park on a Saturday. It's not like that. So imagine no parks, no youth centers, and the only thing they have to go to is the church. So all they're doing football, and the football out there is just a lot of indiscipline. Yeah. So our young people, all those young people I've coached, 250 of them to go and see the World Cup cricket trophy. So you imagine, if I was in England, I never would have seen the World Cup trophy. I might have done. I think 75-25% I wouldn't have done. I got locked out of that. Meeting the ICC Global Development Officer, I would never have seen him in England. No chance. I would have got locked off from that. So there's lots of opportunities I have out here in Nigeria that I wouldn't get in England for sure. Remember, I spent how many years? 17 years trying to get a level 3, and the powers that be did not want it to happen. They didn't want it to happen. So, to be honest, I'm kind of glad where I am in a sense. I've got my level 3, so why would I now want to go back and give my level 3 to those who didn't appreciate it in the first place? I don't know. I'm happy where I am. The places I would like to go and see, I'd like to go and coach cricket in some other parts of the world as well. I really would. Obviously, the Caribbean I want to go back to for sure. Sorry if this is too intrusive. Sorry if this is too intrusive and you don't have the answer, but it must cost a lot for you to do what you do. How's it all funded? I think I just answered that question. England, keep away from the ladies these days. Yeah, I keep well away. Completely indoctrinated. You got it, son. You got it. True, if you were in England, you wouldn't have had these opportunities in England. That's a fact. Yeah. So why? Like, people say to me, "Oh, you should go back to England. You should run back to England to do what?" Yeah, the opportunities to coach at clubs, great. But I know how it works. I know how it works. How it's worked in England. They look at you at first. Oh yeah. I say I've done this. 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 And I have the meetings. I go meet them either in the pub for a meeting. That's like the cricket club, the pub, the club. I have a conversation with them. I tell them what's going on. I tell them about my life, what I've achieved, and they're shocked. They don't believe me. Then I bring out the black book, and they're flicking through the black book, and there is. Shout out though. I'm gonna give a few shouts to a few people. Shout out to Little Marlow Cricket Club. Little Marlow Cricket Club allowed me to become a national community champion in 2010, 2011. So that was a national community champion. I won the award, and 8.5 million people saw my story on Sky. On Sky was the community channel. 8.5 million people. It was filmed by Channel 4 at the time. Richie Richardson, the West Indies former captain, he actually voted for me, and ironically, Richie Richardson ended up getting something called chronic fatigue syndrome, which is what I had many years ago, and I overcame. And he actually suffers from it now. So very interesting. And would you believe that when I got that community champion award, right? When I won that award, Lords didn't acknowledge it. The ECB didn't acknowledge it. The people that I was working with didn't acknowledge it. They just brushed it off because it was me, you know. But I was working at Lords. I was good enough to be a head coach at Middlesex and to look after a bunch of young people. What? I had about 20 coaches under me working at Lords. I walked out the ground, and on the tunnel before I walked out the ground before I headed out to Australia to coach, they said, "Thank you, Ingram Jones, for the work you've done." So I was good enough. I was good enough to run a London side, and out of 32 clubs, select 11 players to represent London. They just gave me the job, and I did it. So I was good enough to do it. I was good enough to coach all these corporate events. I was good enough. I was good enough to go to other clubs and work at other clubs and guarantee players would get into play for the county because I could see a good player, I know what the criteria was to get them into the club. I was good enough. So what's the problem? The problem is I don't kiss ass. The problem is I'm not going to be a slave. The problem is I'm not going to just allow you to talk to me anyhow and treat me anyway. That's the problem, you see. And all that stuff I talked about back then is all coming out in the ECB thing about racism. But the funny thing is, the people who are making the decisions, they haven't got the foresight to see what's necessary, the change that made. Because the people that benefit from the system are the people who are now trying to correct this system. That's not going to work. It's all BS. Not going to work. May you have more success and greatness. You're doing a great job. Although I don't know you personally, I'm proud to know of you and see your success. In England, you are judged by your color first, and then a white person has to sign off and say that you're worthy of a chance. Yeah, you know how it is. Mess all that. I don't even pay attention to that no more because I'm out here now. I think you'd be wise to do your own thing elsewhere where the people look like you. In England, you're always having to prove yourself and be seen as a tick box. Of course, that's what it is. Sick and tired of it. Even when I'm applying for jobs, I'm already, before as I apply the job, I'm actually reverting my mind back to what was. So no, I'm not interested. So I might have to take a little longer and struggle a bit out here. The Caribbean's a different challenge again. It's a different situation out there. But I'll definitely like a second crack in the Caribbean. I really would. I'm not saying everybody's racist because they're not. That's rubbish. I'm just saying that some of the people in positions of power can't help themselves. That's what I think. So yeah. England has gone to shit. Since COVID, it's got worse every day. Well, I've heard that. But I want to do I'll definitely want to do a talk show, a live talk show. I want to try it and see what it's like. It's just over a show of hands. If I were to start turning this into a talk show, like basically people coming in on audio or on video, what do you think of it? You think it would work? Would you like it? Please your country, messed up country in many ways and laws too. I heard a story, don't know how true it is, but the UK has been, and Parliament has been run by another entity now. I don't know how true it is, but they've overtaken Parliament and overtaken the UK, and the UK has been run by a secret government now. It's conspiracy theories. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard. Right, I'm going to end this now. Thank you all so much as always. Appreciate the love and everything else that comes with it. Do check out the channel. I'm going to rearrange my YouTube channel so you can see the latest videos, the boxing, the FC, and I'll remove those videos that are a little older, like a year old and stuff, take them out and push the other videos in. All right. Let's see what Anthony's saying before I finish. You're right. They can't help themselves. No matter what, they've been doing it far too long now. They can't change. Nope, they can't. Systems in place. Much love to you all. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section. Share the videos. Tell your mates. And let me know what you think of a live phone-in. Take care.